14.3 Session Plan, Session and Program Reviews. First off is my client's aims. The whole program aimed is to decrease their resting heart rate, increase muscle mass, and increase their muscle strength of the upper body. This will be measured through testing halfway through the program and at the end of the program through fitness tests. And the specific session aim for this, which I will carry out, is to increase muscular strength and mass of the upper body. They will be able to measure if it's done anything, because they will probably feel sore, or their muscles might feel a bit like stiff after the exercise. Here is the risk assessment I have recorded for the session. The hazards being falling over, pulling muscles. With the medicine ball, they might drop it on them. Rope burn, and they might feel lightheaded from dehydration. You can see the people at risk, controls to be in place, each hazard's risk rating, and the actions necessary. And here is evidence of my client PAR-Q, which I got them to sign at the start of, and go over at the start of the session. And here are my client's fitness testing results compared to their average, compared to the average of other people their age and gender. As you can see, here is exercise session content 1, and it shows the facilities and resources needed. I'll be performing the session in the sports hall. All I will need is a small space to perform the exercises and something to anchor the rope for the battle rope. The resources I need is a mat on the floor for the sit-ups and press-ups to make it a bit more comfortable, a medicine ball, and battle ropes. The health and safety considerations, I will get them to take off all jewellery, make sure their shoes are tied, and make sure the mat doesn't slip on the floor. And I will unpack and put away the equipment, as there isn't much of it. The emergency procedures and contingency plan, I will inform them of the fire escapes in the hall, and if there's an injury, I will aid the participant and find a first aider if necessary. The nearest medical kit is in the storage room, and I can use the phone in the office for help. If the space wanted is not available, we can always go to the fitness suite or outside to perform the exercises. I just need something to wrap the battle ropes around, which could be like a pole outside. And if more participants turn up than intended, all I need is an extra couple mats. Issues arising from the risk assessment is having thought about all the hazards. Issues arising from the risk assessment is not to mess around with the equipment, as this can lead to unnecessary injury. And also, if they want to stop, they can, as there's nothing forcing them to keep going with the exercise. For the warm-up, I will start off by greeting them and having generic talk, ask how their day was, how they're doing, stuff like that. I'll also introduce the session and say how they want to increase their muscle mass and strength, and how I've created a session to help them with this. I will also check that they're wearing appropriate clothing, and check if they're in physical condition, good enough physical condition to perform exercise, by asking if they've got any injuries or current injuries, but they would have put that in there. They would have told me about that before starting. The warm-up will start off with a pulse raiser, as seen on the diagram on the slide. It will be 4 cones spread out, and then it will be different colours. And I'll say name the colour of a cone, and they'll be standing in the middle, and they have to go and put 2 hands on that cone and then back to the middle. We'll do this for 2 minutes. Then we'll do dynamic stretching of the upper body, which will include slow arm rotations from small circles to larger circles, shoulder rolls, arm rolls, triceps overhead, arm across the body, and finally using the wall to stretch out the pectorals. The main content will be circuit training. The first and second circuit will include battle ropes for 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off for 2 minutes, Medicine ball slams, again 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off for 2 minutes. Press-ups and sit-ups, again both 30 seconds on and off for 2 minutes. And it changes for the third and fourth circuit as it gets a bit more intense. All the same exercises, instead of doing them for 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off for 2 minutes, they're doing them for 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off instead. But that's only for the last 2 circuits. To perform battle ropes, you need to stand with your feet shoulder width apart and your knees slightly bent. Your body should be leaning forward slightly. Grip the ropes at the end with your palms facing inwards, and when performing the exercise, alternate whipping motions with your arms alternatively to create 2 waves going along the ropes. Keep your feet planted on the floor at all times as well, because it can be tempting to use your legs to help raise the rope up, but you need to keep your feet flat on the floor. Medicine ball, again, stand with your feet just further than shoulder width apart, and the medicine ball between your feet. When you squat down to pick up the ball, trying to keep your knees from moving from over your feet, moving over the top of them. Pick up the medicine ball and raise up from the squat. When at the peak leg extension, throw the ball down to the floor between your feet as hard as possible whilst bending your legs, and then repeat the action again. So back into a squat, raise it up and slam it down. For press-ups, if you keep your feet shoulder width apart behind you and your back flat along your legs, place your hands just past shoulder width apart. However, they should be in line with your shoulders, not out in front of you or down behind you. When in this position, lower yourself by bending at the elbow until your nose is nearly touching the floor, and then raise yourself up and repeat. And sit-ups is laying with your back flat on the mat. Bring your legs up to create a triangle with the floor. Your knees should be about the reach of your arms away, with your shoulders touching the floor, and then with your hands behind your head and elbows pointing forward, raise your torso to reach your knees and elbows together, and the lower back into your shoulder blades are back, and then lower back until your shoulder blades are back on the mat, and repeat the action again. I've chosen these exercises as they are known for being good at building muscle strength. Here we have the main session layout and how it's going to look. As you can see, the battle ropes are station 1, exercise mat is station 2, medicine ball station 3, and then the exercise mat again is station 4, and the arrow will show you that you can just go around the circuit. For the cool down, it will consist of static stretching of the upper body whilst walking widths of the hall or the space that I've been given, and talking to them about how they felt about that exercise, if it might have been too difficult, if it was a bit too easy for them, if I could increase, if they wanted me to increase the intensity or change any exercise in a route which they'd liked. The stretches will be stretching out the biceps, triceps, which can be done with a cross-body stretch and overhead tricep stretch. The pectorals, again, on a wall stretch. The hamstrings by raising your knee to your chest. Quadriceps by the leg, heels to bum, leg up behind. And these will all be static stretches. I will finish by using positive encouragement as well. We're saying you worked really hard that session, really well done, and I'll see you again soon. This way it makes the exercise feel like it's a two-way street and we're both enjoying it. It's not just me there because they're paying me to make an exercise routine, and tell them that they've done really well and make them more enthusiastic about returning. At the end of the session, I'll pack everything up, I'll roll the battle ropes up and carry them back. I can get the client to carry the mat back because it's light, and then I'll come back for the medicine ball. This way I can get all the equipment packed away quick and efficient, as they all belong in the same room. Here are my client aims again.